looking in tremendous shape. You're ready to fight Barrios tonight and make history, Manny.
Manny, you excited to step into the ring again?
Yes.
What do you think of Barrios? He's a big, strong, he's young, he's 30. You have 16 years on him, Manny.
Don't worry about it. Manny, for a lot of people, you're the greatest fighter in history. The only
Manny Pacquiao's return to the ring isn't driven by financial gain. He has made it clear that money isn't his motivation. Instead, he's fighting to prove something to himself, to his supporters, and possibly to the sport of boxing as a whole. For Pacquiao, age isn't a disqualifier, but just another challenge to conquer, much like the weight class jumps, fierce opponents, and political battles he's faced throughout his career. As he said in a recent interview, "I've been doubted before. This is nothing new."
Oscar's comeback. He's coming back.
Yeah, 47. Thank you.
For the WBC title at 147.
Thank you so much.
I wish him all the best.
Quadra, I love him.
Can he do it?
Quadra?
Can he do it? Absolutely.
That's a Mexican guy.
Manny
Quadra.
Pacquiao's
Oscar needs
he's a legend. You know,
some nice ones. Thank you.
he's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but I think he can do it. Yeah.
Some voices in the boxing world haven't held back their criticism of Pacquiao's comeback. Renowned trainer and commentator Teddy Atlas called the matchup irresponsible, pointing out that Mario Barrios is in his physical prime, it's hard, and doesn't fight cautiously. Atlas believes putting a 46-year-old veteran in front of an active and hungry champion is simply asking for trouble. Former Pacquiao opponent and current broadcaster Timothy Bradley also voiced concerns. While he expressed deep respect for Pacquiao's courage and legacy, he questioned the wisdom of returning after years away and immediately stepping into a title fight. As Bradley put, sometimes a great legacy is best preserved as it is. The WBC's decision to fast-track Pacquiao into a title fight sparked controversy. Despite not fighting for nearly 4 years and having no current ranking, he was suddenly placed among the top 5 welterweights, jumping ahead of active contenders. Critics accuse the WBC of prioritizing profit over fairness. However, WBC President Mauricio Suleiman defended the move, saying legends like Pacquiao deserve special consideration. He noted that Pacquiao passed all medical tests and was training at a high level, adding that boxing history is made by fighters who defy the odds.
It's surprising. Obviously, I know Manny very well. You know, he's a true competitor. He's a guy that if you put something in his head, and obviously to create more history, he's a guy that's going to give everything and try his best. That's what Manny, one thing I always learned with Manny is give 110% and try your best no matter what. So yeah, he's going to give it his all. Again, you can't beat Father Time, but Father Time is hard, and it was very hard watching him fight Lucas. You could see it. And then watching the exhibition he had with the Korean guy or the Japanese guy.
Pacquiao's team is taking his comeback seriously. Longtime trainer Freddie Roach is back in charge and insists the fight wouldn't happen if he didn't believe Pacquiao could win. Roach says Pacquiao's reflexes and movement are still sharper than many younger fighters. However, the training approach has changed. Less sparring, more precision work, and a shift to interval-based conditioning. Roach made it clear. They're not trying to make Pacquiao 28 again. They're focused on getting the best out of him at 46.
I haven't let him choose anyone yet, but it's just his heart has. He said he wants one more fight, and then his wife called me up and said, "Don't let him fight, don't let him fight." And I try to be on her side and so forth. But like when a man in the sport wants to fight, sometimes he's gonna fight. I agree with you. He's gonna fight, and you know who? It doesn't matter.
Another important figure in Pacquiao's comeback is Sugar Ray Leonard, brought in as a mentor rather than a trainer. Leonard is focused on the mental aspect of returning to the ring at an older age, advising Pacquiao not to replicate his younger self, but to adapt his style, focusing on rhythm, spacing, and timing instead of constant aggression. Leonard reportedly told him, "This isn't about proving the world wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you still belong." Barrios has stayed respectful but confident ahead of the fight. He called Pacquiao one of boxing's all-time greats, but made it clear he won't be a stepping stone in someone else's comeback. Barrios says he's training harder than ever, not because of Pacquiao's name, but because of what's at stake. This is his first defense of the WBC title, and he wants to prove it wasn't handed to him. With youth, height, and momentum on his side, Barrios is determined to use every advantage when they face off.
Barrios doing the everything but unifying with boots. Hey man, let me tell you, Barrios has always been the biggest fight, and now if he fights and beats Pacquiao, he's the bigger fight, you know? And I told y'all, I'm not gonna let y'all forget, I told y'all that I was told Barrios would be the last piece. He'd be the last piece, you know? He's gonna wait, just like Plant did, Barrios will. They already offered Barrios an offer to fight Norman. He turned it down. They said they was busy, and obviously they was. Look, the Pacquiao news broke. So Barrios will be the last piece. They're gonna sell that belt to Boots and Eddie top dollar.
Stylistically, this is a tough matchup for Pacquiao. Barrios is taller, longer, and throws sharp combinations behind a tight guard, using his jab to control distance. Pacquiao has typically excelled against opponents who give him space to jump in and out, but at 46, his speed may not be what it once was. Barrios' steady, punishing style offers little room for rest, especially for an older fighter. Pacquiao will need to lean on timing, experience, and angles, skills he's mastered before, but hasn't tested at this level in years.
He needs to do in that fight against Pacquiao, man?
I feel like he has to keep Pacquiao on the outside. He has a height and reach advantage, so I feel like he just go out there and do what he's always done.
What's your prediction for that fight?
Mario Barrios victory.
Do you think it goes all 12 rounds?
I think he has what it takes to stop Pacquiao.
You surprised Pacquiao's coming out of retirement at 46?
I'm very surprised. I don't think anybody expected that. So,
as the fight approaches, debates and warnings will likely intensify, with many urging Pacquiao to walk away for good. But that's not who he is. He's made it clear. He's fighting because it's in his blood, not because anyone expects him to. The idea of being told to stop seems to bother him more than the risk of losing. For Pacquiao, true greatness means continuing when everyone else...
But this, just like when they tried to get Jake Paul to fight Canelo, this reeks of intellectual and creative bankruptcy. Like you don't... This is just going to be a fun event that makes money, but it does nothing really for the sport in the long term. It's a short-term play to make money. It will make money.
It's just a fight.
It's just a fight. It's like a concert. All right, it'll be cool. Okay, get to see Pacquiao. And I can't count Manny Pacquiao out because he's Manny Pacquiao. But I think as long as Barrios doesn't freeze up under the moment,
That belief, choosing his own path, is what fuels Pacquiao's comeback. Win or lose, he's determined to make the decision on his own terms, as he always has. He's not asking for permission. He's demanding the chance to try. In the lead-up to his fight against Mario Barrios, opinions have ranged from cautious support to outright disbelief. Yet, one of the most unexpected takes came from Terence Crawford, one of boxing's top pound-for-pound fighters. Speaking to Sporting News Australia, Crawford didn't mock the comeback or call it reckless. Instead, he labeled it a legitimate 50-50 fight, and even said Barrios is a good stylistic matchup for the legendary 8th Division champion.
Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios? Okay, if this was for a massive bag, I get it. But you're fighting for a non-pay-per-view event, so you're going to be fighting for free against a guy like Manny Pacquiao. Why? There are plenty of other fights to be making. But yet we're getting Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios. Is Manny Pacquiao even ready to fight in the ring? Why is he... I get he still loves the sport, but listen. You are an all-time great, a legend of the sport, a Hall of Famer. Why return? Why not just go pursue other things? If anything, do this a little cheap...
Terence Crawford's take is especially noteworthy. He's framing this as a genuine even fight, not just hype. Speaking from the perspective of someone still in his prime, he said, Mario Barrios is a great matchup for Manny Pacquiao, and I think at this age it's a 5-0-5-0 fight for Manny Pacquiao. Rather than dwelling on the 17-year age gap or Pacquiao's layoff, Crawford zeroes in on style. He sees Barrios as strong and driven, but ultimately hittable and methodical, possibly lacking the unpredictability that once troubled Pacquiao in his later years.
Are you cool with Pacquiao against Mario Barrios?
I am. I'm cool with it. If I was cool with Manny Pacquiao coming back and fighting Keith Thurman, I'm definitely going to be cool with this one. Barrios is not a puncher. Thurman was one of the biggest punchers in boxing. I think he's going to be just fine with Mario Barrios, who we know what he is on the top level. He comes up short. He's been stopped by fighters that are less than Manny Pacquiao and Davis.
Crawford's balanced view stands out amid a wave of doubt from others in the boxing world. Even Bob Arum, who promoted many of Pacquiao's legendary fights, shared deep admiration mixed with serious concern. He's an incredible person. If anyone can do it, it's him, Arum said. But he also admitted he's genuinely worried about Pacquiao's age and long absence from the ring. At 92, Arum didn't mince words. Despite calling Pacquiao the best fighter he's ever worked with, he remains clear-eyed about the risks of returning after nearly 4 years out.
It's 100% disrespectful. This is a clown fight. This is a more clown fight than the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. This is an outrage. People should be up in arms about this fight. This is so disrespectful. Barrios loses this fight. He should quit boxing. You let Manny Pacquiao, an old dude who stopped boxing, and then you're his first fight back?
Eddie Hearn was blunt in his assessment, saying, "He'll never beat Barrios in a million years. And I don't even rate Barrios." It wasn't just skepticism, it was outright rejection of Pacquiao's place at this level. While Hearn acknowledged Pacquiao's legacy, he argued it shouldn't earn him a world title shot. He certainly shouldn't be fighting for the world title, he added, making it clear he wouldn't allow any of his own fighters to face Pacquiao.
All the champions on Boots' radar. I mean, I still think it's bizarre that Manny Pacquiao's fighting for a world title 5 years out of the ring and just not anywhere near at world level anymore. But that's boxing and it's the business and we understand it. I think for Boots, like we talked about fighters that want legacy, all he wants to do is fight the champions. And I think physically it'd be more beneficial for him to move to 154. But
Renowned trainer Robert Garcia offered more of a warning than analysis when discussing Pacquiao's comeback. Barrios is young and strong. He could actually hurt Manny, Garcia told Boxing Scene. He recalled Pacquiao's rough 2021 performance against Dennis Yugas, where his timing was off and he struggled to close distance. Garcia admitted he hopes Pacquiao gets in great shape, but doesn't believe things will go well this time. In a more emotional note, he added it might simply be sad to watch Manny back in the ring. Not out of disrespect, but because watching legends age in a brutal sport is never easy.
I think we're gonna be worried about what happens in that fight because, Barrios maybe the easiest of the champions. Maybe that's why Manny decided to come back and give it a try. But even then, Barrios is young. Barrios is a strong guy, that could actually hurt Manny. Manny didn't look good in his last performance.
Not everyone believes Pacquiao is finished. Former opponent Chris Algieri, who lost him in 2014, expressed cautious optimism. Writing for Boxing Scene, Algieri acknowledged the obvious challenges. Pacquiao is 46, with 72 fights and nearly 500 rounds behind him, all adding up to serious wear and tear. He noted that Pacquiao's greatest strengths, speed, explosiveness, and risk-taking, are also the ones that fade fastest with age. Still, Algieri didn't count him out, saying that with the right conditions, Pacquiao's experience, skill, and adaptability could still be enough.
I think it's terrible, to be honest with you. I mean, it just sort of like sums up the way boxing's going these days. WBC, I think, is for so many years has been known as the most respected. The famous green belt. Boxing just seems to have turned a corner. A 58-year-old Mike Tyson fighting Jake Paul.
Algieri's perspective carries weight. He shared the ring with Pacquiao and experienced his power firsthand. Though their fight didn't go well for him, he still sees Pacquiao as a potential threat at 46, a testament to the legend's deep skill set. Unlike others who doubt Pacquiao has anything left, Algieri suggests the fire may still be there, just older, waiting for the right moment. Across all opinions, one thing stands out: uncertainty. Crawford sees a 50-50 fight. Garcia fears a disaster. Hearn dismisses it entirely.
This is a bad idea. Out of nowhere, the WBC decides they want their welterweight champion, Mario Barrios, to defend his belt against Manny Pacquiao. About 7 to 8, maybe 9, 10 years ago, I would have said, hells yeah, if we had a Manny Pacquiao championship fight. But Manny's been retired for 4 years. He's 40.
Even Bob Arum, who has known Pacquiao for decades, appears conflicted. Something rare in boxing. Comebacks at this stage usually face either widespread doubt or clear support. But this time, insiders are genuinely split. No one knows which version of Pacquiao will show up. Mentally, though, one thing is clear. He's not coming back for money. He's returning because he still craves a fight, because the ring is where he feels most alive. That alone won't win the match, but it matters. Fighters returning for the wrong reasons often crack under pressure. That's not likely to be Pacquiao's issue. He's never been afraid to take risks.
Manny Pacquiao is coming out of retirement to fight Mario Barrios for the WBC world title. There's a lot to unpack here. I'm going to start with the fact he's coming out of retirement. It's a real shame that he sees the need at his age, 46 years old, to come out of retirement after 4 years out of the game, after 6 years since winning a fight. This
puts Barrios in a tricky spot. He's younger, more active, and the clear favorite. Yet all the attention is on Pacquiao. A win won't boost his career the same way it would against a prime opponent. But a loss could be damaging. If he struggles, critics will say he was exposed. If he wins too easily, they'll say he beat an old man. That's the burden of facing a fading legend. Still, Terrence Crawford's take lingers like a quiet challenge. If a top fighter like him believes Pacquiao has a real shot, it forces others to reconsider. Crawford didn't have to say that. He could have played it safe. Instead, he chose to highlight the stylistic balance and give Pacquiao his respect.
Gabe,
what's up?
Pacquiao will give any young fighter today problems, bro. Because these young fighters, they don't fight. Pacquiao does. I'm just saying.
But this is the point I was going to make. Do you feel...
At its heart, boxing is built on uncertainty. Styles, age, motivation, rhythm, none of it guarantees a result. That's why the fights matter. And in this case, even the sport's most seasoned voices are split. Whether Pacquiao wins or loses, this fight has already done something rare. It's made people pause, reflect, and admit that in boxing, no one has all the answers. Especially when it's Manny Pacquiao stepping into the ring one more time.